So I don't know if you guys listen to NPR, but if you can, right now would be a good time to do it because there's an interview with a woman, at least worth it for me. There's an interview with a woman that was raped as a child that feels terrible about it, and she's going through cognitive behavioral therapy. And that's kind of where therapy was when I got my bachelor's. It's a great place to be. The psychologists that were helping her allowed her to record the session. First she had to do all the paperwork and to go through all the authorities, but it became something possible. And I personally think that's very important, not just for the people involved, but because of mass murder, for all of us. People say mental health reform needs to happen, but does anybody have a clue? It doesn't seem like they know what psychology is and can do. Psychology is a closed box where everything is shared and you try and make a friendship with a stranger and then talk and then just complain. That's all psychology is right now. And in this interview, the woman has bipolar and was raped as a kid. Now I have bipolar. Schizotypal. I don't even know what that means. But I don't have too much of an interest in it because the larger point is there's a lot of pain that is being muffled by a privacy fetish. And this is something I really believe and have believed for a long time, and I've done weird things to expose it. For instance, and I lost subscribers for this one, but I told them about the subscribers that left. I didn't know, but I told them about a session where I was like, hey, I want to film this because, and then I put on a gas mask with drawing on it and like a weird hat that said nigger. And I was like, do you see why I want a counselor? I want a counselor that'll let me film sessions. And of course they booted me because that's all they do. Because privacy fetish is more important than helping other people in the real world. Just as niggerphobia as a fetish is more important to people than the possibility of raising money for charity. That's why I think proportional response is not a free thinker. He's an atheist. You know, can there be a smaller level of applause? Good job. You're right about God. It's a real difficult riddle to figure out, right? I mean, of course you know that. And of course you know the scientific stuff. You went to school. If you were a free thinker, though, proportional response, I'm calling you out. If you were, you would have figured out a way to sell my goddamn items for charity. Because that's the only appropriate response to somebody trying to donate to charity, regardless of what's on the items. An item that says the N-word on it is going to hurt no one unless, and this is like a gun, the person wearing it is being irresponsible in some way. And so that's the gun rights activists' biggest point. And still, it escapes. I don't know how people don't understand. Words will never hurt them if they are spoken by a gentle soul. And if they are spoken by a bad soul, an angry soul, a murderous soul, then they'll hurt and indicate that that person is dangerous. So you can't just be tired of me because, oh, I'm so sick of racism and this guy changed his name to it. And you've got to admit, I've got a fucking point here. And nobody's really wrestled with it besides me and my family, and they've failed. And I've told them I'm mad at them, and I'm trying to make them realize what I can do. But it is CBT that was on this radio program that I'm recommending that created